AddMaths2008 question 13. What we've got to do first of all is explain why cos of alpha, alpha is this angle here, is the same as minus cos of beta. Alpha and beta lie on a straight line, so that means alpha plus beta must be equal to 180 degrees. So that also means that alpha is the same as 180 take away beta. So what we've got to show here, going from here, is we have to show that cos of alpha is the same as minus cos of beta. Okay, well, cos of beta, again, if you rearrange this one, could have done it the other way around really. Beta is 180 minus alpha. So cos of beta is the same as cos of 180 minus alpha. So I've got to show that this is equal to this. Now, I'll put the word show in here though, because at the moment we haven't shown it. We don't know it's true. We need to look at the cos curve. We look at the cosine curve. We've got 1, minus 1, 90, 180, 270, 360. Alpha, from the diagram, it's clearly smaller than 90 degrees. Alpha may be this angle here. Well, what's cos of alpha? Cos of alpha will be this value over here on the y-axis. That really shouldn't be dropping down there, that should be going upwards still. 180 minus alpha, well, if that distance there is alpha, by symmetry this distance here must be alpha. 180 minus alpha must be that point there, and cos of that, well, that part of the curve there is the same as that part of the curve there, the same sort of distance by the symmetry properties. So that vertical distance there must be the same as that vertical distance here. So this value over here is cos of 180 minus alpha, and we said that this vertical distance and that are the same, so that must mean that cos of 180 minus alpha, this negative value here, is exactly the same as cos of alpha, except it's negative. So you have to somehow put that into words. If you look at the mark scheme, the key thing that they've got on the mark scheme is you do need to show that the alpha plus beta is 180 degrees, and if you write down that the cos of 180 minus beta is equal to minus cos of beta, that gets you the mark. Or similarly, you could swap it around with the alphas as we did there. That's quite a hard part of the question. The key to part 2 is not to panic if you haven't done part 1. You still should be able to get on with this one. It's talking about the cosine rule. The version of the cosine rule we usually use is a squared plus b squared, a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. The angle they're talking about on the question paper is cos alpha. So I can change that to be a cos alpha, which is this angle over here. So if this is cos alpha, the side opposite it is here. So normally the side opposite the angle is little a, here the side opposite is little c. So that a squared there becomes c squared on this diagram. So on the diagram, that is my equivalent of a in my top formula. That was the equivalent of small a in my formula. B and c are the lengths of the other two sides. So that is x and a over 2. Doesn't matter which way round you put them. The x, the other side is squared, and the a over 2. That one will be squared as well, added together. And over here I've got to squeeze in a 2 times by that one times by that one. And the cos alpha is still there. So I'm going to rewrite that. So I've got c squared is x squared plus a over 2 all squared minus 2 lots of x and a over 2 cos alpha. And now I've got to rearrange this to get cos alpha. Those 2's cancel out. So I've got now c squared is x squared plus a squared over 2 squared, which is 4. And here I've got take away xa cos alpha. I'm trying to get the cos alpha on its own, so I can shift this bit here onto the other side. They're adding things on this side, they'll be taking away on the other side. So I get c squared, take away x squared, take away a squared over 4 equals, this is what's left, minus xa cos alpha. Okay. Next, I want to get the cos alpha on its own, so I need to divide by the xa. Now multiplying over here, so I'm going to get c squared minus x squared minus a squared over 4 divided by negative xa equals cos alpha. And we're nearly at the point we are in the question. They've got things written slightly differently. First of all, to get rid of this fraction which isn't in the answer, if you multiply everything on the top line by 4, as long as you do it to everything on the bottom line as well, that fraction still has the same value. So I've times the top line and the bottom line by 4, and you can see now hopefully it's looking more like what's in the exam paper. But they haven't got a minus on the bottom, they've just got 4ax. So if you times the bottom by minus 1, you also need to times the top by minus 1, so all the signs will change here. So the negative 4x squared you've got there will become a 4x squared. The negative a squared will become a positive a squared. The positive 4c becomes a negative 4c squared. So that's equal to cos a. So that final bit was multiplying by minus 1, and now you've got an expression they need for cos alpha. They're then asking you to do a similar thing for cos beta. So we now need to look at the triangle in question. We've got beta here, x here, a over 2 here, and b here. The cosine rule we normally use, again, is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. In that case, that would be our angle A. I've put the circles in, they're going to correspond over here, so normally we will call that angle A there, sorry, side A there. So rewriting that and substituting in the a squared of the formula, here has actually got to be that b squared. The b squared and the c squared are just the other two sides. So I'm going to have that one there for one side, that's squared. The a over 2 for the other one, that one needs to be squared and added on. Then I'm taking away two lots of those two multiplied together, times by cos of my angle, which is cos beta. So, doing the same thing as before, first of all, the a over 2 all squared is a squared over 4, minus over here, those twos cancel, and I have ax cos beta. So I've got b squared, move this bit to the other side where it becomes negative, equals minus ax cos beta. Next, multiply through by 4 here, if you want to. Actually, no, divided that last time. I brought this over as a divide. I'll do it the same way around. B squared minus x squared minus a squared over 4 divided by minus ax is cos beta. Multiply the top and the bottom by 4. Multiply the top by 4, I'll get 4b squared minus 4x minus a squared. Multiply the bottom by 4, I get minus 4ax. Now times the top and the bottom by minus 1. Times the bottom by minus 1, I get 4ax. Times the top by minus 1, everything here is going to have its sign changed. So I'm going to have 4x plus a squared minus 4b squared. And that's my expression for cos beta.